Well, good Monday evening again. We unfortunately have another severe weather situation happening, and we have a tornado warning that has been issued for Madison County and western Jackson County. And the reason why I'm on here is because we have a tornado warning now for western Jackson County, Alabama. So the same areas that have been getting severe weather all day long, you got another storm with a possible tornado moving in that area. It's for this area of rotation that I've been watching over the last 5 to 10 minutes here on the northwest side of Huntsville, pretty close to Mid City, and that's moving off to the east northeast. You can kind of see with this red and green couplet there near the Oakwood College area there on the northwest side of Huntsville. That's where there could be a quick spin up tornado. And there's also a tower cam I was watching a few minutes ago just before coming on here, and it did show a lowered base, a lower wall cloud. So while there's no tornado on the ground with this, there is rotation happening in this thunderstorm. So with that said, there's a tornado warning in effect for the northern end of Madison County, really the central part of Madison County, north of downtown Huntsville, east into western areas of Jackson County. Now, it does not include any of the major cities in Jackson County, but because this includes part of our area, that is why I am on here giving coverage here because, and especially considering this is a tornado warning. So I will check and see if we got any sort of debris, and thankfully, considering this is over a very populated area, thankfully there's no debris being seen. Hopefully this is just another one of those quick spin ups and it won't last very long, but at the same time, it's just best that if you live along and west of Highway 65 in western Jackson County, you're better off seeking shelter here and waiting until this passes. And again, this warning will expire here in about 39 minutes, so this will go in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. So this is for a severe thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado located near Alabama A&M or near Huntsville, and it's moving to the east. Let me get you that speed. Over moving east at 30. So let's put a track on that, and we'll extend this into Jackson County, at least the track of it, just out of precaution. So this is moving east at 30. So this will be around Pleasant Groves around 8:07. Again, this is if it holds together. Hopefully it weakens before then, but if it holds together, this is where it'd be going. Around Skyline around 8:18. High Top about 8:23. Hollywood, if it gets that far south, about 8:33, as well as Pisgah there around 8:48, and Stevenson around 8:49. So that's if this one were to hold together. And when you think of what's happening here is with this last wave of storms, this is actually an area of low pressure, and you can almost see the rotation here of that. So you can kind of see right there, and on the southern end of it, which usually typically happens on these eastern and southeastern flanks of these low pressure systems, you can get little rotations here that can develop along that. So I'm not seeing any of that on the Tennessee side right now. I mean, I'm checking out some of the storms up around Lynchburg and all that for those of you in Franklin and Coffee, and at the moment I don't see that being an issue. But for western Jackson County, I'm keeping an eye on this because there could be a quick spin-up tornado here. Right now, it's on the northwest side of Huntsville, the largest city in Alabama here, and it's getting ready to cross over the Parkway, and that's Memorial Parkway there as you go north of downtown and up towards Meridianville. This is going to pass very close to Alabama A&M very soon. So if you know anybody around there, if you know anybody on the north side of Huntsville, especially north of downtown, along 72 up towards Bob Wade Lane or Winchester Road up in that area, make sure that they are seeking shelter. And this unfortunately includes New Market as well. So New Market, where you had that confirmed tornado earlier, you are in this tornado warning, unfortunately, again, up that way. Meridianville is also in this too. Now, on the Jackson County side here, the warning comes up to about Trenton, Alabama, up through Holly Tree, Princeton. Y'all are on the farthest east extent of this. But again, if it were to hold together, it will impact you here within the next half hour. So that's why this warning has been extended into western Jackson County here, especially west of Alabama Highway 65 there. So again, I will reiterate this. I will say this. This is not going to impact Scottsboro. This is going to stay north of Scottsboro. This is not going to impact Woodville. This is not going to impact a good chunk of Sand Mountain. I think this will likely probably pass north of Sand Mountain the way it's looking, especially with the way the rotation, at least the counterclockwise movement of the low is moving. So that'll probably take it more like somewhere up in this path up in here. So it probably will avoid at least a good chunk of Sand Mountain. Now, if it does turn to the right, then it may go up around Flat Rock, maybe the Eider, up towards Higdon and Bryant. But again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. Again, that's a long way down the road considering this is 30 miles an hour movement. So that's a good hour or so from now. So, I mean, not too long, but we got time to watch it here. So, again, areas west of Highway 79 in Jackson County in particular, heads up, specifically on the mountain over here. Again, that the area of rotation is right there on the north side of Huntsville, and it's moving east, almost kind of east northeast, like every one of the other storms have been moving, and it's moving directly towards Jackson County here. And again, this will pass north of Scottsboro. Again, y'all don't have a problem there. Pisgah down towards Dutton section, you don't have an issue there. DeKalb County, Alabama, this probably won't be an issue for you. Now, Stevenson, we got to watch this. Now, Stevenson, keep an eye on it, because if this holds together, and all that, it could impact you within the next 45 minutes to an hour. Bridgeport, going to be a close call. But Stevenson and Skyline, High Top, even as far south as Pleasant Groves, I would keep an eye on this as this moves off east. Now, you don't have an official warning or any kind over there, but I'm just saying keep an eye on it, because this could easily, if it were to hold together, it will head your way. Real quick here, we got these other thunderstorms across the Middle Tennessee here. We got some storms in Coffee County extending west out towards the I-65 corridor. These up in here are just some heavy storms, non-severe. Got a good little thunderstorm moving up into Van Buren County from Grundy and Warren, but that's non-severe at this time. Good downpour around Hillsboro. And McMinnville, you're getting ready to get some more heavy rainstorms momentarily, but the Tennessee side so far is really behaving, at least as far as those thunderstorms are concerned with this last wave. But this right here, which popped up very fast on the northwest side of Huntsville, is the one I'm watching. And thankfully, as of the last few volume scans, ever since this warning was first issued here about 10 minutes ago, this is coming down in intensity. I mean, the rotation has really fallen apart here. So this is really right on. We're moving right over North Huntsville right now. So this is going to go right around a Stringfield Road. Let's see, that's the other road right there. That's Winchester Road right there. So that's going to move right along that road and pass pretty close to Alabama A&M. And if it holds together, this might head up towards the Moores Mill area, Ryland, the Chase community, and passing probably south of New Market. So I don't think New Market's going to really get this one. I think this is going to stay south of New Market. So cleanup and all that. I know. I'm betting that if there's any damage cleanup up there from the earlier, potential tornado that went through there, I'm sure that the cleanup has stopped for people to seek shelter. But I do believe that this tornadic circulation is going to pass south of there at a safe distance. This won't affect Hazel Green either. So again, this is north of downtown Huntsville, and it's a good 40 miles or so, 30, 40 miles northwest of Scottsboro, and it's moving to the east here at about 30 miles an hour. And again, this is the only warning we got in the whole area right now, and it just happens to be this one out here, and it happens to be a tornado warning of all. That includes central Madison County, North Huntsville, east through Moores Mill, and into the western areas of Jackson County, west of Alabama Highway 65. So west of most of the major cities, but it's definitely something to watch considering the history of these storms today. You just don't want to take chances on any of them. So good call here on going ahead and issuing that tornado warning. So thinking about down the line here, where will these thunderstorms go next? These will eventually go back into the same areas that have been hit already. So the Chattanooga Metro, you'll at least get these thunderstorms at least on the Tennessee side, but this tornado warning storm is close enough to where we'll have to watch it here as it gets a little closer. Hopefully it continues to weaken before then, but wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But again, all areas of the tri-state area here, at least most of us, across northeast Alabama, North Georgia, middle east Tennessee, we all got to be on guard here for the next few hours here because as this last wave of rain and thunderstorms goes through. I know I've been seeing some other sources trying to give early all clears. There's a reason why I did not, because of little things like this. And given when you have an area of low pressure like this, sometimes what can happen on that eastern southeastern flank is you can get quick little spin ups that can occur very fast. And thankfully, this one was caught before anything came to ground truth. Now, I've not heard, and looking here behind the scenes, I've not seen any reports of damage, thankfully, from the Huntsville area, so that's a good sign. So hopefully, there was no touchdown or anything, at least as far as I know. But again, it's definitely something worth watching here as this moves off to the east. So again, I don't anticipate a lot of issues tonight from tornadic storms. They should be isolated. That's what I'm saying. If we get any kind of additional severe weather this time around, it should be more isolated if it happens. But again, where they do happen, if they do, that's where that potential again exists for the strong winds, the very heavy rain, and I cannot simply rule out a brief spin up here. And unfortunately, that's been a very common theme today in the same area. I mean, from Madison County into northwest Jackson County. I mean, that's been a very popular corridor today, and this is the third time in a row that this has happened. So hopefully this time it'll weaken as it gets back into those areas, but again, I just simply cannot promise that right now. And the good news is this rotation does continue to weaken. As I said, there's really nothing much left to it anymore. So hopefully this will be allowed to, hopefully this can be canceled early considering the current trend. Now we'll see if they end up letting this go until expiration time just to make sure it doesn't try to recycle. But hopefully as this runs into air that's been worked over from all these thunderstorms here that have moved through, hopefully it will allow this to weaken and get these below severe levels. Now the ones up in here that you see from Fayetteville, Lynchburg, Tullahoma up through Manchester and up towards McMinnville, those are currently non-severe. Those are just gusty thunderstorms with heavy rain, lightning, all that. But these up in here are non-severe. The one, and the reason why this southern one has been became the tornadic one here is because, as you see, there's nothing to the south blocking it. So there was nothing down here to interrupt its inflow. So, and there's still some warm air in that area, still a little bit leftover warm air funneling into that. So when you have that combination, and especially when you have a low pressure center that's so close by, that adds that little bit of twist that can happen up in the clouds, and therefore you can get one of these quick little spin ups to happen. So as I said, so far no reports of any kind of damage or anything from Huntsville or anywhere in Madison County, at least from this particular storm. Only damage of note has been around New Market in the northeast end of Madison County and around the Princeton area of northwest Jackson County. There's been damage up there. We'll see if that ends up actually being from a tornado or straight line wind. We won't know that until surveys are done, which will be probably done tomorrow, I'd imagine. But if you are out and about anywhere right now in the tri-state, I do want to say this. Be very careful of any downed trees and lines that you see. Keep a very close eye, of course, on weather conditions and radar. Make sure also, if you're on the road this evening, out of precaution, just in case we get another one of these little tornado warnings here, make sure you are, and I forgot to mention this earlier, make sure you have your GPS on your phone. Make sure you have your location on your phone, so that way if you happen to be driving in a tornado warning polygon, you will get that alert on your phone and you will be able to either pull off or find the next exit and get off there and get safe. So if you are traveling out there this evening, especially if it being nighttime, out of precaution, if you have to be out tonight or something, I would make sure that your location is on, so that way you have a way to be able to receive a tornado warning if it were to be issued. So that way, if you're driving in the polygon, you will be alerted. I mean, it works really well. I mean, I've tested it out myself before, and it actually works. So that's the good thing. Also, another good thing has just happened as far as what severe weather is concerned. This tornado warning for Madison County in Jackson County has been canceled. So some great news there. So if you are watching from Jackson or anywhere else, this tornado warning has been canceled, which means that the rotation, as I said earlier, it's not very strong. It's really more of a gusty thunderstorm at this point. Just some gusty wind, heavy rain, all that. So some great news there. Again, as I say, be very careful out there. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to hang on here for just a minute just to make sure we don't get any kind of additional flare up here. And you always got to double check, because I don't really want to have to pop on 4 or 5 times in one night, but I want to make sure if we catch anything, we'll catch it. But again, this is just a strong area of wind right now, passing on the east side of Huntsville, moving right down 72 into Maysville, and that's going to be moving into Jackson County here within the next 30 minutes. So let's go ahead. I'll give a quick storm path here. Again, I will emphasize this again. The tornado warning for Madison and Jackson has been canceled. It's fallen to a point to where it is no longer needed for a tornado warning. So let's put this out to the east here. And we'll put that to the east there a little bit. It's actually sped up some. So Skyline, this will be in your area about 8 o'clock. About 8:05 for High Top. 8:12 for Hollywood. Stevenson about 8:20, about 8:30 in Bridgeport, about 8:30 also in Ider, about 8:35 in New Hope, Tennessee, there in Marion County. That would also include South Pitt, and in Trenton, if it holds together, about 9:44. Again, this is not a tornadic storm anymore, but I figured I'd give a little bit of a expanded track there just to give you kind of an indication of where that's going if that holds together. And there's also other thunderstorms here I do want to point out real fast. Also from Lincoln County into Lynchburg through Tullahoma, Manchester. I know it's pretty loud up in here and pretty messy. McMinnville, you're about to get in on some more heavy rain soon. Spencer, you'll have more moving in there as well, along with Pikeville. So again, more rain and thunderstorms are going to continue marching from west to east across the tri-state here over the next few hours from now through about midnight. There's that chance that one or two again could become severe. They should be more isolated if they do, but if there is a severe storm that forms, it could be a problem. It could be problematic. So hopefully not to the extent. I don't think it'll be to the extent of what we went through. However, it's still worth staying on guard, especially considering that technically we still have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect for all of southeast Tennessee and North Georgia that runs in effect through 11 o'clock tonight. So as long as that watch is in effect and we still got these thunderstorms around, which have done some very unpredictable stuff today, we just got to stay on guard here. So before I sign off here, since we don't have any severe weather happening ongoing, no tornadoes, anything like that this time, I'll double check to make sure that nothing really crazy is trying to form. And actually, let's hang on here a little bit longer because I'm seeing a little bit of weak rotation trying to reform in that cell. So let's just make sure it doesn't try to reorganize here. So this is northeast of downtown Huntsville, so north of Montesano Mountain here. And again, there's no formal warning on this at this time, but I just want to watch it here for a few minutes just to make sure it doesn't do anything sneaky on us here before I sign off. But yeah, that's something I'm keeping an eye on, and we'll give it at least one or two more velocity scans. But again, this is the heavy thunderstorm that's crossing out of Meridianville in the Huntsville area, and it's getting ready to cross into Jackson County here in a matter of minutes, and it will pass really between Pleasant Groves, Skyline, west of High Top, east of Newmarket out in here, along Alabama Highway 65 towards 146, and eventually cross over the 79 corridor here within the next half hour. And then these thunderstorms up in here are moving into Franklin County now. These are non-severe, but some gusty storms with some gusty winds, some heavy rain, a little bit of lightning and thunder. So if you know anybody out towards Timms Ford Lake, make sure that they are inside and you know and all that, at least protected from lightning. And in Manchester, Tullahoma, Hillsboro, New Union, up towards Beech Grove, Summitville, some heavy torrential downpours. And then McMinnville, again, non-severe, but you got some more rain moving in. And here's another line of heavy rain that runs from about Irving College, just south of there, through about the Mennonite community there in southern Van Buren County, up through about Fall Creek Falls, Brockdale, into Pikeville, and another shower around Dunlap, but nothing severe. Again, here's those thunderstorms that went through here earlier that caused all the really big-time troubles, but thankfully most of these have weakened quite a bit over the last few minutes, so that's good as those move away. And let's check on that little area again, and thankfully that has weakened quite a bit. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Thankfully this was a lot more briefer. Hopefully I won't have to do another live here for any kind of tornado warning or anything like that, but if we do manage to get another one, or especially if we get another tornado warning, of course I'll pop right back on here and cover that. But at the moment, We have no warnings in effect locally as of 7:38 p.m. Central, 8:38 p.m. Eastern Time. The tornado warning that was in effect for western Jackson and Madison County has been canceled. So that's great news. And again, be on guard for the next few hours here from now through about midnight for more of these rain and thunderstorms as they move from west to east. And again, a few of those could turn strong to locally severe. So I'll be watching things closely, so stay tuned for further updates.